and welcome to the Sewer Informational Public Forum. I'm Nick Lawler, General Manager of Littleton Electric Light and Water Departments. Thank you for joining us this evening. We organized this forum, like the many others that we've done before, to update the community on our work regarding the sewer project. I'm joined today by Dave Ketchen, our Assistant General Manager, who will present to you further on the issue, and Corey Godfrey, our Water and Sewer Superintendent. If you have questions, we ask that you either use the question and answer feature on Zoom or email us at info@lelwd.com. Dave, Corey, and I will answer questions after his presentation. I'd also like to mention that we have a webpage dedicated to this very important issue for our community. That webpage is lelwd.com/sewer-department. On this page, you'll see up-to-date information regarding the sewer project. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Dave Ketchen for his presentation.
Thanks, Nick. Give me 1 second. I'll share my screen. Can you see that, Nick?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, we'll get started. So here's a quick overview of the presentation. We'll give an update on the sewer project, what's happened since last town meeting, and how we plan on proceeding forward. After that, we'll go into detail on the sewer expansion design, the estimated cost of the proposed expansion, and we'll provide an update on the discharge site and discuss our next steps from here. So as Nick stated, we'll answer questions at the end of this presentation. So please feel free to submit questions using the Q&A feature through Zoom or to our info@lelwd.com email address. Just a side note, so to use that Q&A feature on Zoom, just make sure you push the Q&A button, raise your hand, and then type out your question and include your name and address with your question. And then we'll answer those at the end of the presentation. So let's get right into it. So last fall's special town meeting helped pave the way for our progress today. At the special town meeting, the sewer division was transferred from the select board to the Board of Water Commissioners. Also, authorization was granted to design and construct a 175,000 gallon per day sewer discharge site at the Littleton High School to support the expansion of the Littleton sewer system. The discharge site construction will begin in the spring of 2022, and we'll get into further detail on this later in the presentation. The sewer needs assessment was completed by engineering firm CDM Smith at the end of 2020. For those that don't remember, the needs assessment analyzed the sewer needs of Littleton holistically, and this was in order to preserve Littleton's water, land resources, and to promote smart economic growth. And that complete needs assessment can be found on our website at lelwd.com. We've previously presented on this assessment, but if there's specific questions about it, please feel free to ask tonight or ask us in the future, as it is a rather lengthy document to get through. So after that, under the direction of the Board of Commissioners, we have begun working with CDM Smith on a sewer system expansion design that would bring sewer to the Littleton common area. And we'll get into that deeper later in this presentation as well. In the needs assessment, CDM Smith recommended 242 King Street as the location of the wastewater treatment facility due to its proximity to the discharge site and the common, among many other reasons. So therefore, that location is being used for the basis of design moving forward until a permanent solution is solidified. And speaking of that permanent solution, there is an active request for proposals seeking proposals for land acquisition for us to locate the treatment plant on. So those sealed proposals are due to us by June 21st, at which point we'll analyze the best way to move forward. I want to talk a little bit about the existing municipal sewer system tonight as well. So this system flows sewage from flows sewage to the Littleton High School, where it's treated at the wastewater plant shown in this picture here. This treatment plant was built at the same time as the high school, so roughly 20 years ago. The plant, as you probably can't tell from this picture, but if you looked inside, you can definitely tell it's nearing the end of its operational life, and it's using outdated technology to treat the sewage. We just had an evaluation of it, a site walk of it last week, and it was eye-opening. So I wanted to get into this a little bit tonight to explain that whether sewer is extended to the Littleton Common or not, this treatment plant needs attention soon. And like I said, we just had a site walk last week with CDM Smith because they're evaluating the condition of the existing plant, and they're going to help us determine sort of its life expectancy and give us some options of how to move forward with it. So with that being said, we are hopeful that a sewer system expansion to the common happens, because that would help solve this issue. So now let's get into the sewer expansion design. So this map here was provided in a recent mailer that everyone should have received. So I'll kind of walk through some different parts and pieces of it now. So first, many different sewer scenarios were analyzed and considered by the Board of Commissioners. And essentially, the commissioners wanted to put forth a plan that meets the primary goals of sewering the Littleton Common, while also allowing for future expansion of the sewer system and protecting groundwater as we go. So this map shows the proposed expansion of the existing Littleton municipal sewer system. And this map would include 57 commercial and business properties and 53 residential parcels along King Street, Great Road, and Russell Street. So the parcels shown in yellow are proposed to be included in the initial sewer expansion. And this area will be known going forward as the Littleton Common phase of the Littleton sewer expansion. So as you can see from this map, sewage would be transported westernly to a new wastewater treatment facility at the 242 King Street site that I touched a little upon earlier. And then the treated effluent would then be piped from there to the new recharge site under the playing field at the high school. So that discharge site that we'll also talk about later on. Another thing to note that I think most people are aware of is residential properties would have the ability to opt out of connecting to this sewer system, depending on the age and condition of their septic systems. So a quick overview of this is, with this design, we plan on constructing a new 50,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant at that 242 King Street location to replace the 20,000 gallon per day facility at the high school. And then we would obviously build this plant with provisions to be expandable in the future when we have more customers and our loads increase. Another piece that we'll touch upon is building that new discharge site under the high school fields. And then the final sort of phase to this is adding business and residential property to the system, focusing on major roads that intersect the Littleton Common area, where and also where the existing sewer serves the school buildings. So moving on. So speaking of the sewer expansion design, so this is the schedule that was provided to us by CDM Smith regarding that design. So we've already authorized this design, as they show here, in May of 2021. So a couple other key dates in here. In mid-July, we anticipate having some better pricing for treatment equipment, and I'll get into that a little bit next slide. CDM Smith will also help us apply for the SRF, the State Revolving Fund loan that could potentially have major cost savings for us. So hopefully that goes smoothly. And then, I'm sorry about that. And then we'll have a different design targets, as you see here, that will provide us more accurate information and allow us to decide how to best move forward. So as you can see, by the end of 2021, we hope to have 60% design plans. By spring of 2022, 90%, and then by May of 2022, 100% design specs and cost impacts. So based on this schedule, it's really hard to say how exactly we move forward, but we hope to have enough information to bring forth a construction funding article for this design in either the fall of 2021, which might be pushing it, or to the spring of 2022 town meeting, which might be a little more realistic. But we'll keep everyone updated as this project progresses, and we'll have a better idea moving forward once that happens. So moving on to the estimated cost impacts here from the sewer system expansion. So as you can see here, the estimated cost of upgrading and expanding the existing system is just under $28 million, according to CDM Smith. So these estimates were generated within the needs assessment, and they carry high contingencies for different things, such as a midpoint of construction, which they estimated to be at 2023. They threw in just some overall project contingencies and then some other engineering and implementation contingencies as well. So we're hoping this number, comes down a little bit once design moves forward, but that remains to be seen. So with that being said, so how will the cost be recovered? So we plan on recovering costs through the betterment charges assessed on the properties served by the sewer and from the town's tax base. So various cost recovery scenarios have been evaluated to this point, using this number that's on the screen now, and information that we had available to us at this point. However, because no design's been completed, it's really not reliable numbers right now. So with that being said, no decisions have been made or will be made until design is further along, just because of those different projects variables. But like I said, these numbers will be more accurate once the design is underway and as it progresses. This isn't putting blame on CDM Smith. I think they kind of had to carry these high contingencies just based on just all the different project variables and not having the design actually complete. So like I said, once these numbers are more firm, we'll host another public forum. We'll send out different mailers like we've been doing up to this point. We'll post information to our website. And we realize that now this is a high number, and we hope it does come down, but we will be able to explain this better to everyone, hopefully in the near future. So moving on to the sewer discharge site. So as most people know, a 175,000 gallon per day sewer discharge site is being designed and constructed at the Littleton High School fields, as seen on this slide, in that white boxed out area. And this discharge site will be able to handle the estimated wastewater flow, while also meeting the environmental and economic goals of the town. So this is a large piece to the sewer project that we're happy to get underway, and we feel confident that doing this right now will only serve us better in the future. So the sewer discharge site design right now is at the 60% mark, which is good. They're on schedule with this. We hope that the design will be completed by the end of the summer, and then we plan on going out to bid hopefully by the end of the year, early next year, and then construction would begin as soon as the weather breaks in 2022, so spring 2022. Along the way with this, we've been working with the school committee just to minimize impact to student athletes as much as possible. Obviously, they've had a tough year with COVID and everything like that. So as much as we can help out, just limiting the impact to school sports, we will try to do that. So once construction is completed, it was decided that the field will be replaced with sod, so that we hope that the sod can be installed by the end of May, June of 2022. And then it'll need to settle and grow for a season, so that summer season. And then we hope to have athletics back on that field by the fall of 2022. So we're hoping that they really only lose one school sports season on that field. And then one other update I wanted to provide tonight, that we sort of received information of last week, is on the MassWorks grant. So for those that don't know, that the town is in line to receive a $1.5 million grant for the sewer project through MassWorks. And we learned last week that the funds won't be released until after we receive full construction borrowing authorization at town meeting for the entire sewer project. And this is news to us. We thought they would be able to fund this discharge site project regardless of how the project moves forward, because we know that something's gonna happen with the sewer system, regardless of what it is. But their reasoning for that was that they funded the grant to us originally to support economic development in Littleton, and so they want to tie that money back to the overall projects, just to sort of protect that grant for them, and just give them a little certainty that it actually will be used for the purpose that they granted it to us for. So with that being said, what are the next steps? So we're going to continue working on the design of the sewer expansion project, and we'll continue to provide updates. As I said, we'll complete the design of the sewer discharge site and move forward with that construction next spring. And then, so as the design of the expansion progresses, the commissioners will provide direction to us for next steps, and we'll be able to continue moving on this project and working towards the goal of sewering the Littleton Common. And then obviously we'll continue to provide updates to the public throughout the project, mailers, our website, social media posts, etc. And we plan on hosting more public forums like this. Maybe we do in person after this with COVID restrictions loosening, maybe not. But tonight, we just wanted to give a quick update on sort of where we're at. And we really wanted to hear from residents on questions that everyone has, because obviously we've had two recent mailers that went out in April and May, which should have generated a lot of questions, and we really haven't heard from too many people. So with that being said, I want to open it up to questions from everyone. So Corey, I don't know if we have any questions yet. If not, Nick or Corey, if you'd like to add anything to the presentation as well, feel free.
No, there's no questions submitted yet, so
Okay.
I think you pretty much covered everything in the presentation. See, give people a few more minutes, see if anybody wants to chime in.
All right, well, it doesn't seem like there's any questions right now. Let me check the email as well. I don't see any there. All right, well, if there's no questions, that's all I had to present tonight. We will be at town meeting. We'll have a table there with a few handouts, and we'll be available for questions then as well. So anyone that's watching on LCTV that isn't able to use the Zoom question feature right now, please feel free to come up to us at town meeting. We don't have an article for this town meeting, so we won't be presenting at town meeting. So make sure to catch us at that table as you walk in. But I appreciate everyone attending tonight, and yeah, I don't see any questions as of right now.
Yeah, I'll just add, Dave, before we get off, that this was a project that's been worked on by a lot of employees throughout the town, both light and water department employees, but also employees of town hall, and various board members, committee members. Have really put a lot of time into this to get to this point. Really appreciate that. What we presented tonight was discussed at a joint meeting with the Board of Select Board and the Board of Commissioners, and they came to that joint agreement of this was the best way to move forward for the town. So we're looking forward to over the next year and keep on moving forward with this design and updating the community throughout the way. If there's no questions tonight, that's great. You feel free to reach out to us anytime to ask us any questions on the project. Be happy to answer them, and look forward to seeing everybody at town meeting on Saturday. Must be a Bruins game tonight or something.